This is going to be one of the most insane videos that we have ever done. I'm going to go buy some cards right now and then grade each of these cards with each of the major grading companies and show you how all of the grades compared. Let's go. So I'm going to start by buying some SGC cards because SGC is actually not grading here on site at the National this year, but CGC is, Beckett BGS is, and PSA is. And Ben, I noticed in your showcases here, you've got some really nice high-end SGC cards that I'm doing a grading experiment.
Okay.
This would be good to start with. I'm going to have you pull a few of these out for me.
Sure.
We've got quite the assortment here. So we're going from, ultra modern with a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. This Ted Williams, wow, 1940 play ball. I would love to include a vintage card in this experiment. That Jackie Robinson, I just love this card because anytime you can get a Jackie Robinson autograph, I mean, that is special. And then this is an Albert Pujols rookie card. You actually don't see too many of those on the show floor, so that would be an interesting one as well. Do you have movement on some of these? Are there?
Yeah, I'll work with you the best way I can.
You're gonna work with me on some of this?
Yeah, take a look, see what you find, and I'll do what I can for you.
Appreciate it. So I'm going to start with the 1940 play ball Ted Williams card. I just went here in Market Movers. I want to see what this price is at in different grade levels. So in Market Movers, I can hit that little down arrow and I can see this in all kinds of different grade levels to see what it most recently sold at. So you got, this is an SGC5. It looks like you've got it priced at $27.50. Last sale that I seen in an SGC5 here was $24.18. It obviously bounces around a little bit based upon eye appeal, right?
Sure.
And that's a pretty nice copy of the card. And then just kind of curious, if I were to move this over to PSA, what would this do? So it doesn't look like there's a lot of price difference with PSA. A PSA 5 recently did $2,200 in this. A couple of them did $2,200. There was one before that that did $2,500. Now, obviously, if you are lucky enough to get a grade bump, if this were to end up, for example, as a PSA 6, you could end up with a card that's worth over $3,500. So if you get that grade bump, you make $1,000 by crossing it over. Would that happen? Well, you might find out by the end of this video. All right, let me consider that one. Sure. And then I'd say this Albert Pujols is really interesting to me as well. A PSA 8.5 did $731 recently. Actually, there was a low sale of an SGC 9.5. Auto not quite as nice.
Right.
But that one did $740.
I think the auto on that one looks pretty
The auto on this one's better.
Yeah.
This would be interesting to see if you dual auto graded this, if you could get a 10 on the auto. Huh.
That'd be a premium, I'm sure, with the 10 auto.
Interesting, because that auto looks nice. And on a lot of these Pujols cards that I'm seeing here in Market Movers, like here's an example of another one in Market Movers where the auto only got an auto grade of 8. So if you could get a premium for the auto, this one looks like a nice auto, that could actually help the value of that card quite a bit. I am probably most interested in that Ted Williams and that Pujols.
Perfect.
Would you consider a cash offer for the pair of $3,200?
I'd be able to do 34 for you.
3,400?
Yeah.
How about 3,300?
Meeting in the middle. Can't say no to that. It's more than fair.
Thank you.
Of course.
We're going to do a fun experiment with these.
That's exciting. You'll have to let me know what you get.
I will. Tell the audience how they can find you, by the way, if they want to shop any of your cards.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Yeah, so my name is Ben. I'm out of New Jersey. My Instagram is ABCards, cards with a K.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Good to see you, Ben.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You too.
All right, guys, so this is John. And John, you've got a huge selection of women's basketball cards, WNBA. So this one's interesting. This is from Bowman University Inception, essentially kind of a rookie or pre-rookie auto card, numbered to 99. This one is an SGC 9.5 with a 10 auto grade. So that could be a pretty fun one to do our experiment with. And of course, I like the idea of getting an ultra modern card from one of the last few years. Let me take a peek here in Market Movers to see what these have sold for. Trying to look for the autograph versions of the card. Here's one right here. Okay, so you've got a pretty reasonable price on that. This was the PSA 9 Auto 10 that I'm seeing here in Market Mover. So that's interesting. If this could go from an SGC 9.5 even to a PSA 9, there's some upside potential there. So we're gonna see if that happens. John, would you consider $1,000 cash for the card? You got it stickered at $1,099.
I'd take 1,000.
You do 1,000
Yep.
cash? Easy deal.
Done deal.
Thank you, John. Let's do it. I appreciate it.
All right.
Tell the audience, by the way, if they're interested in WNBA cards, how can they find you?
I'm on ComC and eBay as Jabber72.
So to keep this totally subjective, I'm going to crack these cards before I drop them off for grading. So each grading company won't know what they were graded before. I'm taking my tile nippers here.
A few moments later.
All right, I got the corner a little bit open there with the tile nippers. Now I'm going to try to get my screwdriver in there. Work on the seam of the card. And there you go, just like that. The card comes out untouched. All right, get that one in one of these. By the way, shout out to BCW Supplies. They're our official supply partner at Sports Card Investor, and they're the ones who make these soft sleeves for grading submissions. These are called semi-rigid card holders. They make all the penny sleeves we use and everything like that, and you can save 10% by going to bcwsupplies.com and using promo code SCI for any BCW supply. Nice deal for our audience. For the second slab, I'm going to try a little bit of a different method. I'm going to stick a little flathead in the seam of the card. Look at that. That was actually quite a bit easier. That's an easier way to deal with SGC slabs, is just to get a screwdriver in the seam of the card. And there you go. One more to crack. The Ted Williams. There we go. It's a beauty, isn't it? Look at that Ted Williams card. Really, really nice card for being 85 years old. Absolutely incredible, the condition of that card. Let's get these all off to Beckett now. All right, the first moment of truth is here. We've got the cards back from Beckett from BGS. Let's see how they did compared to their SGC grades. So first of all, the Albert Pujols was an SGC 9. How did Beckett grade it? Beckett gave it a 9 as well. And by the way, they did not give it an auto 10. That's a little disappointing to me. I was hopeful that was going to get an auto 10. Beckett said no, not an auto 10. So extreme consistency between Beckett and SGC on that first one. This Caitlin Clark with SGC was a card grade of 9.5 and an auto grade of 10. Let's see how Beckett graded it. A card grade of 9.5 and an auto grade of 10. Unbelievable consistency. Okay, let's go to the Ted Williams. Now, Beckett told us once we submitted it that they did not have the right holders for these here on site at the National. So they couldn't slab it, but they would grade it. So they put a grade on there. It was an SGC 5. How did Beckett assess it? Beckett also gave it a 5. Wow, 3 for 3. Perfect consistency between SGC and Beckett with grading. That's really interesting. Now let's crack these and let's see what happens with CGC. Okay, so here we're gonna go. These Beckett slabs. Oh, where's my safety goggles? I need my safety goggles. Okay, now we're ready to crack. Let's go, baby. All right, these Beckett ones are a little harder to crack. Taking the tile nippers. Gonna try to shatter the corner of this. There we go. Boom. Like a boss. Get this small screwdriver in here. Oh man, we got stuff flying everywhere. Watch out now. Watch out if you're on the national show floor. That came out easy. That came out easy. All right. And there's that Beckett label. We'll hold on to that. Put this over here. Slab number 2. Boom. Nice and easy. Look at that. Beautiful. Clean. Love that. There we go. And then this one we're just going to cut with a pair of scissors. That's going to be easy. So now that we've seen the grades from SGC and BGS, now it's time to turn the cards over to CGC and see what 3 grades CGC gives them. Okay, the cards are back from CGC and the moment of truth is right now. Here we go. This was that Albert Pujols card. It started as an SGC 9. It then went to a Beckett 9. And now CGC has given it a 9 with an auto grade of 8. Very interesting. Okay, so very consistent in the grading with all three companies giving that card a 9. CGC and JSA thought that that auto was only worthy of an 8. Honestly, I thought the auto looked really nice, so they clearly are paying a little closer attention to that. Of course, they have a lot more expertise than I do on those autographs. Okay, let's look at the Caitlin Clark Inception card. If you remember, this one was a SGC 9.5 card grade with an auto of 10. This one then went to a Beckett card grade of 9.5, auto of 10. What did CGC give it? Wow, CGC gave it a 10-10. Okay, all right, we've had our first difference so far, and that's a big difference because the CGC 10-10, that would definitely command a little bit of extra premium over certainly the 9.5. So that actually got an upgrade by going to CGC. Very interesting. All right, let's look at the Ted Williams card. This one was a SGC 5. This is that 1940 play ball Ted Williams card. And then that went to a Beckett 5. Now let's see what CGC gave the Ted Williams card. The grade is a 5.5. So very close overall. Everything within half a grade point, but a slight bump going from the other two companies up to CGC. But next, the final stop is PSA. So let's crack these and get them ready for PSA submission. Hey guys, I brought in a special guest to crack these cards with me. This is Tim McHenry of BCW Supplies, of course part of Slab Strong with me in the past. How's everything going, Tim?
It's been absolutely amazing the last couple of years. Best time of my life.
That's awesome, man. It's great to see you here at the National again.
Yeah.
We're gonna crack these and get these over to PSA for grading. Tim, I gotta have you be safe here.
All right.
Put on the shades. You gotta look cool. We can't have anything go wrong here, Tim. Okay, so we're gonna I've never actually cracked a CGC slab before. So there's a first time for everything. This could go very poorly.
Yes.
We're gonna see how this goes here. I'm gonna try to just nip the corner of it. Oh, actually, that was not bad.
You've been working
like
out.
a pro.
You've been working
like
out.
a pro.
Nice.
So Tim, I'm gonna crack this here, and then you've got BCW, who's our official supply partner at Sports Card Investor. Tell them what these are, because we're about to use these right now.
So as you know, grading will keep going in a trajectory that is unstoppable. So now BCW came out with this tab sleeve, so it's much easier for the grader to take out, hopefully putting them in a better mood for better grades.
There you go, absolutely. And I am, all right, there we go. That one came out pretty clean. All right, there we go. All right, Tim, I'll let you put that in one of those new BCW tabbed card sleeves. And then, of course, we also, because everything we do here at Sports Card Investors, BCW Supplies, we've also got these BCW semi-rigid card holders right here to go with the BCW tabbed card sleeve. So I'll let you put that into one of the semi-rigids. This is what you use for grading submissions.
Yes.
And by the way, guys, BCW has a special offer for you. If you guys need to get any type of card supply, everything on bcwsupplies.com is 10% off with promo code SCI. So bcwsupplies.com, promo code SCI, 10% off everything. And Tim, you guys on BCW Supplies, you guys sell all kinds of stuff beyond just, penny sleeves and soft sleeves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of our better selling products right now, you see them all over the show floor here at the National, is something called a card bin. Comes in about 5 to 6 different colors, holds up to 3,200, some hold 1,600 cards, but you're actually starting to see them replace dollar cardboard boxes, which is nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have all kinds of cool, innovative products. Okay, here we go. Very careful on that one. This was my 10-10. Be really interesting to see if this one gets a PSA 10 or a PSA 9. Or who knows, maybe PSA decides to give it a 6. We're gonna find out here in just a minute. All right, try to get that one in there carefully. That was a little thicker. And then we're gonna crack that beautiful Ted Williams card.
Just make sure these don't get...
The cracking of these CGC slabs has actually not been too bad. It's they come up, these I just got these at Ace Hardware. Those are pretty good for cracking slabs. Those are called tile nippers. All right, there we go. All right, let me get some scissors.
Oh, this is the new one.
This is a little tricky. So I gotta cut this here without cutting the card, but I gotta cut the protection. This is some precise work here, Tim.
Surgeon.
Don't try this at home.
Jeff Wilson, MD. Surgical moves here.
Actually, do try this at home. Let me know how it goes for you. This is kind of a fun experiment. How do you think PSA is going to grade these cards, Tim? It's going to be interesting to find out.
I'm going to say the Caitlin Clark gets the 10.
You think PSA is going to get? Okay. It's going to be really interesting to see if PSA gives that one a 10 or a 9.
I think that's going back to a 5.
Okay, back to a 5 at PSA. So far, I've actually been quite impressed with the consistency of these grading companies. And by the way, when we're submitting these to the grading companies, we are not telling them, they're not being submitted under my name. So there's no, we're putting them under different people's names. So there's no favoritism. Not that there would be anyway. Trust me, the grading companies show me no favoritism, none. You should see, so if you've seen my grading reveals, you know that. If anything, they're harder on me, I think. But no, they're not showing me any favoritism at all. They never do. But you know, I knew that we would get the people in the comments saying, oh, they're giving you better grades because you're Jeff Wilson or whatever. So just to avoid that, Tim.
Well, I just want to say I apologize about that. I'm the one that put that on.
Oh, you're the one in the comments? Are you the guy who's always in my comments with all that craziness?
That's me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, that's Tim. All right, let's get these in the soft sleeves here, and then we are going to get these to their next stop over to PSA. It's the final stop on our grading tour, PSA. Let's see how PSA grades these 3 cards. All right, here we are. They are back from PSA right at the end of this show. We got them all done from all the grading companies in time for the show. Had to pay a lot for express grading fees. We did that, of course, not to make money, but to be able to show you how each grading company graded these cards. So now let's see how PSA graded these cards. It's the moment of truth. Let's start with that Albert Pujols. And as you remember, the Albert Pujols started as an SGC 9, then it became a Beckett 9, then it became a CGC 9 with an auto grade of an 8. And PSA graded it a PSA 8 with an auto grade of 7. Wow. So it lost a grade point in both the card grade and the auto grade as we took it to PSA compared to all 3 of the other grading companies. The other 3 grading companies were all aligned that was a 9, and PSA gave that one an 8 with an auto grade of 7. Wow, that's a tough grade. I gotta say, that's a tough grade. The card looked, man, that auto's a 7? That's why I'm not a grader. This is why I'm not a grader. Okay, next up, the Bowman U Inception. This started as an SGC 9.5 with an auto grade of 10. It then became a Beckett 9.5 with an auto grade of 10. Then, of course, it became a CGC 10 with an auto grade of 10. What grade did PSA give it? A 9 with an auto grade of 10. So, of course, PSA doesn't have a 9.5 grade. They only have a 9 and a 10. So with it being a 9.5 from SGC and a 9.5 from Beckett, I was kind of expecting it to be a 9 from PSA, but CGC gave it a 10. So then I started to have a little bit of hope that PSA might give it a 10-10. Nope, PSA gave it a 9 with an auto grade of 10. It is nice to see, though, that all 4 companies agreed that the auto grade was 10. So that was some consistency there. Finally, we're going old school vintage, the 1940 play ball. Ted Williams card started as an SGC 5. Then it was a Beckett raw card review of a 5, only because they couldn't slab it at the show. Then it was a CGC 5.5. PSA does have a 5.5 grade. Does this get 5.5? Does this get 5? What does this get from PSA? Oh, wow. a PSA 3. Wow. The other 3 grading companies all felt it was a 5 or 5.5, and PSA gave it a 3. We have now seen consistently that PSA has given all 3 of these cards the lowest grade. SGC was higher, Beckett was higher, and CGC was higher in all 3 cases. 3 for 3, PSA graded the cards the toughest. And that probably explains why in the market, PSA cards sell for a premium. It's on display right here. This experiment showed it. And by the way, guys, this video, none of the grading companies knew that I was submitting these cards. This was not sponsored. We did this on our own, not using my name. So this was done the proper way, where this was as fair as you can get. All of the grading took place here at the National, and you see the results. Very interesting. What is your conclusion? I would love to read your comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want us to bring you more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments.